Let's all rise and sing together, Wake Now My Senses, and we'll send some good energy to those who aren't able to be with us this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be with all of you. It's good to see all of you, whether you're here for the first time or here for the umpteenth time. I see some returning faces and some new faces, and I'm happy to be with you. I'm Roger Jones, one of the ministers serving this congregation, and my colleague, Reverend Lucy Bunch, is preaching today, and her sermon is entitled Curiosity. I wonder what she will have to say for us. And welcome to those of you who are watching this recording. We're very sorry our server was not cooperating this morning, so it's not live, but we hope you feel our love and connection with you on this recording. If you didn't get an order of service or you didn't get a blue sheet with our weekly calendar and upcoming events, they are on the back table. And if you are watching online, you can go to our website to fill out a newcomer form. But if you're here, you can do that at the welcome table after the service. We invite you to explore all the ways that we strive to live out our mission, which says we come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world. We hope you will hang around after the service, join us for coffee on the patio, check out the library, bookstore, and the connections table. And normally we would have breakout rooms for those on Zoom after the service. If you're here for the parents' orientation for Our Whole Lives, that will be in the FOS room starting at noon with lunch. There's a lot happening this month in December, and you can look on our website for last week's email of holiday happenings, which tells you everything that's happening that's open to everyone from now till New Year's Day. And today is the second Sunday of the month, which means there's an orientation and a tour after the service, and it will be provided by Celia, our worship associate. She is very experienced, so feel free to grill her with your difficult questions. You can look for Celia after you grab your coffee just about 10 minutes after the service at the welcome table, and she will give you that orientation and tour. Next Sunday morning is a special service. It's a circle service. We will gather as a community of all ages to celebrate Yule. That will include lots of music and a few readings, and our annual ritual of trimming the Christmas trees, which will be up here. If you have a special ornament you would like to add to the trees, you're welcome to bring it, but we will have plenty of ornaments here, and it will be an all-ages ritual that we enjoy so that we will be ready for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And this afternoon, we will have a communion ritual. Will be open to all, offered in this season of Advent to remember Jesus of Nazareth, the prophet of peace and compassion. And you don't have to identify as Christian to participate in this simple and brief ritual together. We will use, today we will use grape juice and fresh bread, which is gluten-free. Bobby and Annette and Kenneth and I invite you to join us, and you will return to the sanctuary. We'll meet up here in a circle, and that will start at 2. Our refugee support team is helping 2 families who have resettled in our area, and they seek your help with clothing and supplies and monetary gifts. A complete list is on the table, along with some things that have already been donated. You'll find them just outside the door here. And next Sunday will be the last Sunday to bring your donations. So let's come together to show our love and support for our new neighbors. Now, please check your cell phone to ensure that it is on silent mode so that we will all be more present and mindful in the service. Mine's now on silent mode. And now let us receive the music for centering from Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry. While Anthony is setting up, I forgot to mention, today is Picture Day. So if you don't have a picture in the directory of members and pledging friends, or you would like a new and fresh picture, or your contact information has changed, please stop by and see Tina. Will you raise your hand if you're in the room? Tina, where are you? Oh, she's rushing in the back door. There's Tina. Okay, so be sure to see Tina, and thank you.
Life in there's a sensation. to view magic lands, simply close your eyes and view one. Wanna be a dreamer, be one. Anything you please, and please save me one. There is no place to go that compares with pure imagination, so go there to be free. If you truly wish to be.
Our chalice lighter this morning is Rebecca O'Neill, and our chalice lighting words come from the Reverend David Breeden. We light this flame, reminding ourselves to treasure the magic in the mundane, the wonders of carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, rapid oxidation into light, heat, and the dance of flame. We light this chalice, kindling, remembering our innate sense of wonder at the very real magic of our world.
To continue and go make some musical magic in a room over there, I'd love to invite the kids up, and we will make our way out together. So kiddos, come on up to the front as we, of course, sing, "You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. Here I am. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
You got it, put. Okay. And they will be singing along with a lot of other people in the service next Sunday. We've received a few messages for our joys and sorrows and prayers, and if you would like to send one, you will find a link to do that in the weekly message email, or you can contact the office before 5 o'clock on Fridays to let us know. We lift up thanks for the opportunities to gather with others again, including many thanks for last night's dinner and tree trimming party here in the Welcome Hall. We thank all those who made it happen and all those who came together to make it a time of joy last night. Celia Buckley shares that her beloved sister-in-law, Carol Buckley, married to Celia's brother for 40 years, had a stroke 12 days ago. Carol's been discharged from inpatient rehab with only mild speaking challenges and mild impediments to walking. And we are all hopeful that she will make a full recovery, and the family still plans on gathering at their home on Christmas Day. Our member, Sally White, is not here. She has a fractured ankle, and she misses her volunteer service today as an OWL teacher and other many church activities, but she does hope to be able to attend on Christmas Eve with us. Many adults and children in our community have been laid low by symptoms of the flu or a cold or COVID-19 and RSV. And we miss them all and are wishing them well. For everyone who is dealing with medical issues, we extend our prayers of love, care, healing, and peace. And now I invite you to join me for a time of prayer and centering together. And we start with that primordial prayer which we have known all our lives, which is our breathing. I invite you to feel your bodies in the seats, your feet where they are resting, and feel your breath coming in. I invite you to take a deep inhale breath and then pause for a moment and then exhale deeply. In. And a second breath, breathing in deeply, pausing, and breathing out deeply. And on this third breath, after you pause and when you breathe out, invite you to breathe out a sigh full of the sound of your spirit. In. And as we keep breathing together, please join me in the spirit of prayer as I offer these words. O breath of life, we feel you lifting our bodies up and out, filling us with vital air every few moments. Let us give thanks for this gift, for the gift of life, and for the gift of this new day. As we gather on this morning, may our spirits be revived by our sense of connection to life, to one another in this community, and to a sense of connection to the expanding circles of affection and friendship in our lives. O Spirit of love, we feel you as the warmth of kindness, respect, and patience. These are gifts we can receive as well as share with others. For every setback or challenge we encounter, we ask for the gifts of perseverance, patience, and courage. We call to mind those whom we know who need strength and healing, and we send our good wishes and prayers. May all know that they are loved. May we all know that all are held in love. O Spirit of wonder, help us to keep our hearts open for new perspectives on old hurts, to keep our minds open for new ideas on the questions that abide with us. Let us be willing to receive new insights on who we are and what may be possible in our lives and in our world. O Spirit of surprise, let us be quick to notice all occasions of joy and beauty in our days. Let us cultivate all reasons for lifting our hearts in gratitude, and let us not miss any chance to speak a word of thanks. Keep our hearts open to the blessings awaiting us on this day and the next day, living with an open spirit, one day at a time. So may it be, blessed be, and amen. Let us pause for a few moments of silence together. May peace be with us all. May peace be with everyone, everywhere. Amen.
Good morning. Celia Buckley, you're serving as your worship associate today, and I have a reading to share with you. This is a reading of an interview of Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, and several other fiction and nonfiction books. This is an excerpt from an interview from On Being with Krista Tippett in May of 2018. And Elizabeth says, I think curiosity is our friend that teaches us how to become ourselves. And it's a very gentle friend and a very forgiving friend and a very constant one. Passion is not so constant, not so gentle, and not so forgiving, and sometimes not so available. And so when we live in a world that has come to fetishize passion above all, there's a great deal of pressure around that. And curiosity is an impulse that just taps you on the shoulder very lightly and invites you to turn your head a quarter of an inch and look a little closer at something that has intrigued you. And it may not set your head on fire. It may not change your life. It may not change the world. It may not even line up with previous things that you've done or been interested in. It may seem random and make no sense. And I think the reason people end up not following their curiosity is because they're waiting for a bigger sign. And your curiosities sometimes are so mild and perhaps so strange, and so almost nothing. It's a little trail of breadcrumbs that you can overlook if you're looking up at the mountaintop, waiting for Moses to come down and give you a sign from God. Curiosity gives you clues, but it doesn't necessarily give you a destination at all. And here's the thing. Sometimes following your curiosity will lead you to your passion. Sometimes it won't. And guess what? That's still totally fine. You've lived a life following your curiosity. You've created a life that is a very interesting thing, different from anybody else's. And your life itself then becomes the work of art. Not so much contingent upon what you've produced, but about a certain spirit of being that I think is a lot more interesting and also a lot more sustainable.
Let's rise in body or spirit and sing number 83. And we got some words, yay! Winds be still.
Harmony.
I think we see curiosity as kind of a benign impulse, at least as represented by Elizabeth Gilbert's words. But curiosity was not always considered to be positive or even healthy. This is actually surprising because humans would not have evolved without it. In prehistoric times, someone had to taste that berry to see whether it was nutritious or poisonous. And that required not only curiosity, but acting on their curiosity. So we all know that curiosity killed the cat, which Wikipedia tells us is a proverb used to warn of the dangers of unnecessary investigation or experimentation. It also implies that being curious can sometimes lead to danger or misfortune. This proverb is linked to the British Isles in the 18th century. But really, it's religion that gave curiosity a bad name, and we can go pretty far back to see some of those origins, including the story of poor Eve, who destroyed the Garden of Eden, brought down all sorts of terrible things on humankind because she ate that apple from the tree of knowledge. You know, who wouldn't have eaten that apple from the tree of knowledge? You're placed in a garden, you have everything you need, and you're told, oh, but that one tree, which is the tree of knowledge, don't eat anything from that tree. What would you have done? I definitely would have eaten from the tree of the knowledge. And women have been punished ever since because Eve had the nerve to act out of her curiosity. And then, of course, there's Pandora from the Greek myths. Pandora, she of the famous box, which was actually an earthen jar called a pithos. In the telling by the poet Hesiod, the first to write down all of the Greek myths, Pandora is a curious and troublesome girl who opens a jar and unleashes all manner of evil into the world. Sounds vaguely familiar to that Eve story, just slightly different characters. In an earlier version of the same story, Pandora, rather than being a troublesome girl, is a generous giver of gifts that she brings forth from her pithos, offering bounty to the mortals to nourish them and enrich their lives. A slightly different take on the same story. You can see how in these two examples, curiosity had gotten a bad name and how it was particularly associated with women who were at the same time weak and destructive, kicking off a couple of centuries of misogyny in the Western world. This negative sentiment about curiosity carried on to medieval times when curiosity was considered a vice. A wandering mind or an unfocused mind could lead to melancholy or sloth. The alternative, of course, was studiousness, careful academic study. In other words, keeping your nose to the grindstone. Because when your nose is to the grindstone, you're not seeing all those other interesting things that you might be curious about. I wonder if any of this anti-curiosity sentiment is still alive in our world today. Fortunately, the Renaissance and Enlightenment eras in Western Europe liberated curiosity, which is now considered a key instrument in scientific and social advancement. You can find several TED Talks on the importance of curiosity in scientific research and an argument for basic science, saying that rather than solving a specific problem, scientists who just start with an idea and follow wherever it leads. Many of our greatest scientific breakthroughs came this way, or as a byproduct of a failed experiment where someone said, well, tangible example, but what's going on over here? A very tangible example of scientific curiosity is the Mars rover, which is actually named Curiosity. It has wandered the surface of Mars for 11 years now. Its mission is to find out if there's evidence of life on Mars, but it pursues this mission by nosing around, taking pictures, picking things up, and analyzing anything that looks interesting. Sounds like a pretty good job, doesn't it? Truly living up to its name of curiosity. Now, my point in the sermon today is not to help you appreciate the history of curiosity, though it really is quite interesting, and maybe it's made you curious to learn more about it. But it's really to help you see how curiosity can make a difference in our own lives. We all have an innate sense of curiosity. You see this in children, particularly toddlers, who might push that bowl of cereal off the edge of their high chair again and again in an important scientific experiment testing gravity, or perhaps testing how many times you will pick up that bowl of cereal and clean up after them. As we age, we often lose this innate sense and innate practice of curiosity. So to keep it alive, we need to cultivate it. Psychologist Jordan Littman named two forms of curiosity. He called them I curiosity and D curiosity. I stands for interest, that hunger for knowledge, that following whatever sparks your interest. D curiosity stands for deprivation, that drive that comes with the need to know a specific piece of information. I'm sure many of you have experienced this. I know that actor. I've seen him in another movie. What was that movie? And then you can't rest until you find that out. Deprivation curiosity is the tool of cliffhangers on TV shows that keep you binging when it says the next episode in only 4 seconds. Today, I want to focus more on what Littman calls interest curiosity, that opened up, wide-eyed wonder of discovery. I think that his use of the term interest is a little mild, so I'm going to choose to call it life-enhancing curiosity, for it is critical to a rich and meaningful life. Some of you may remember the sermon I gave earlier this year on consciousness. I talked about the default mode network in our brain. This is the part of brain which manages all the input of information that we receive, which is far too much for us to really process. So our default mode network helps us with that. But it manages it in such a way to detect patterns based on our previous experience, and then applies that to interpret current data. So it kind of narrows things down. The default mode network is the box when we talk about wanting to think outside the box that controls the flow of information and how we process it. So life-enhancing curiosity is a way to break out of this box, because in the process of being curious, we need to let go of our assumptions and our expectations and allow ourselves just to engage with what is in front of us. What is that? Look at that picture over there. I wonder how the artist did that with that line of light that comes across. I wonder where that picture takes place. Curiosity can be a gentle companion. We heard this from Elizabeth Gilbert, who said that curiosity is an impulse that just taps you on the shoulder very lightly and invites you to turn your head 1/4 of an inch and look a little closer at something that intrigued you. This type of curiosity is a form of mindfulness, of presence without judgment, assumptions, or expectation. It's not thinking. It's not forced. It is just presence with what you see and riding the wave of your interest. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you don't have judgments or assumptions, but you can approach those as well with curiosity. Life-enhancing curiosity is a wonderful way to engage with things that are strange to us or things that make us uncomfortable, whether it's people, ideas, situations. Ask yourself, why am I having a judgment about this person or this idea? Be curious about that. What assumptions am I making that are limiting my ability to understand or appreciate? I wonder how many of you could benefit from this approach. Similarly, curiosity can be a tool for engaging our inner life, our internal thoughts and feelings. Judson Brewer is a neuroscientist who has created two very popular apps, Unwinding Anxiety and Eat Right Now. One of the tools he offers is using curiosity to change the habits that are undermining our quality of life. He suggests that when you have cravings, anxiety, or difficult feelings, that you approach them with curiosity rather than avoidance or reactivity. You are not analyzing your experience, you're just exploring it with gentleness. What is it that I'm feeling? Where am I feeling this in my body? You dive into the physical sensations with curiosity. Brewer stresses that we must follow our curiosity, to lean into the not knowing, to be energized by the not knowing rather than being afraid of it. Curiosity is a wonderful antidote to fear, one that we can choose. Curiosity helps us to let go of what we do know or what we think we know and to see things with new eyes. This is true for our engagement with the external and the internal world as well. So I encourage you to make friends with this life-enhancing curiosity. Let it be your companion. Let it be your muse. You never know where it will lead you. I wonder how curiosity might enrich your life.
Generosity is a spiritual practice. As a congregation, we cultivate this practice by giving away half of our offering donations from every service. Every year, our congregation members vote and select 12 organizations doing great work in the larger community. In December, our community partner is Sacramento Loaves and Fishes. They provide warm meals, essential survival supplies, and services for nearly 1,000 unhoused adults and children every day. To keep their services barrier-free, Loaves and Fishes does not solicit or accept government funds and relies upon the direct support of the local community. I encourage you to go to their website to learn more, and please give generously to support this important organization. As you can see on the slide, you can set up your phone to contribute by text message now and in the future. You may also go to our website, or you may mail a check here to UUSS on Sierra Boulevard. Thank you so much. Now, as we enjoy music, our offering will be given and received. As the ushers bring forth the offering, please join me in the unison response. May generosity bless our world. May gratitude nourish our spirits.
This is a reading by the late poet Mary Oliver, entitled When Death Comes. It was written in 1990, and some of her language reflects assumptions about gender of those times. When death comes. When death comes, like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me and snaps the purse shut, when death comes like the measles pox, when death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? And therefore I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and I look upon time as no more than an idea. And I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy, and as singular. And each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending, as all music does, toward silence. And each body a lion of courage, and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world.
Albert Einstein said, "The most beautiful thing that we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed." Last Sunday, Reverend Roger preached about the importance of one of the sources of our UU tradition, the direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. He made the argument that this source is essential to our religious tradition and should be part of how we envision our UU future. I am going to make the argument that curiosity is an appropriate way to approach mystery and wonder. In fact, it might be the only meaningful way. Many of us come from Orthodox religions where curiosity, especially expressed in questions that were outside the bounds of the Orthodox beliefs, were not welcomed. Many of us found UU because we were encouraged to question, encouraged to seek answers on our own terms, to pursue our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, as the fourth principle states. But I think some of us get stuck in that search because we start out with the assumption that we're going to find an answer. Some of the questions that we ask are unanswerable. What if we didn't feel the need to have an answer to the question of whether there is a God, or what is the meaning of life, or what happens when we die? What if we could let those go? Or possibly, what if we could let go of the need to find answers? How liberating could that be? When I hear someone express a strident commitment to atheism, their version of answering the question about whether there is a God, the answer being no, I ask them, tell me about this God that you don't believe in. I want to open that closed door. So what if we were just curious and engaged with the mystery? What if we asked ourselves, if there was a God, how would I know? How would God show up? Could I have a relationship with God energy? What if there were no God? How would I know? What would be different? Is there another word that I could use to represent the same idea? Another word that resonates for me? Nature gives us lots of opportunities to engage with mystery. We may find ourselves asking, how tall is that mountain? Is it really going to rain? I see the rain clouds above the mountain. Or what kind of tree is most prevalent in this forest? Maybe we can simply be in the mystery with a different kind of curiosity. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? In our beloved hymn, Blue Boat Home, we sing, leaning over the edge in wonder, asking questions into the deep. What do you think of the idea of curiosity as a spiritual practice? Of course, the queen of curiosity, and possibly a UU saint, the exemplar of engaging with the world, is Mary Oliver, who died in 2019. She asked endless curious questions that were really not meant to be answered, but to open a door. Questions that were meant to be explored. In her poem, A Summer's Day, she asks, who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out on the grass. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed. Perhaps curiosity is a form of prayer, a way to engage and be present with the world and with the great mystery of life, a way to appreciate. As Mary Oliver says, I don't know what prayer is, but I do know how to pay attention. It's in this same spirit that she encounters death. When death comes, her poem reads, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, this cottage of darkness? When it's over, I want to say, all my life, I was a bride married to amazement. I was a bridegroom taking the world into my arms. We don't really know that much about Mary Oliver as a person, except what we know about her through her poetry. I like to think that her spirit is still open and curious in whatever that cottage of darkness is for her. When I did my internship at the Palo Alto church, I got to know a woman there, a woman in her 90s named Sally. We had lunch on a regular basis. I really enjoyed the time that I spent with her. At that time, she had terminal cancer, but her pain was managed. As her life came to an end, Sally was bedridden, but still present and engaged with the world. And near the very end, she sat up and looked around, and she said, "I wonder what it'll be like after I'm dead. I wonder if there will be flowers." We may not have the wherewithal to bring curiosity to our deathbed, or even bring curiosity to our contemplation of death, but we can bring curiosity to our lives. We can make curiosity our spiritual practice, whether engagement with the world or through the engagement with our own internal feelings and challenges. I wish that for you. Curiosity as your companion, tapping you on the shoulder and asking you to turn your head just a quarter of an inch. I wish that curiosity for you, engaging in the world without expectations or assumptions, with open eyes, open hearts, and open minds. May it be so.
I invite you to rise and sing together our wonderful hymn, We Laugh, We Cry, number 354.
midst of human strife, we search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make sense of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found our joy being together. And in our search for peace, maybe we find all we seek. And to Christian truly is an answer.
As we extinguish our chalice, please join with me in the unison words. We extinguish this flame, but we carry the light, love, and commitment of this gathering into the days to come.
Let's reach out to each other. Let's reach out to those at home who weren't able to be with us today and send them love. I'm sure you can each imagine someone out there who's a regular Zoomer. So let's be present and bring them into our space today. And let us go forth with the gift of curiosity in our hearts. Let us follow the breadcrumbs of wonder, and let them lead us to a life that is rich and engaged and present. So may it be. Blessed be, and amen.